back in the days. Don't be left behind. Join the new normal of digital world. Let radio and television be at your fingertips. Get news and current events, entertainment, sports, kiddies programs, and more at your beck and call on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Just visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media platforms. Then you are a global citizen. Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. Voice of the voiceless.
It is essential to be up to date on happenings around you, and to make that easy for you, ladies and gentlemen, we present Freshlight, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to the limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio.
Good morning to you, wherever you're listening and watching us live on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. It is the 28th day in the month of September 2023, and it is a Thursday morning, the last Thursday in the month of September 2023. All right, I'm sure that the day is going fantastically well, because that's what we definitely want for you every time and every moment. Welcome to Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. A Freshlight will quickly go through some of the stories in our dailies, and we peruse pages of our newspaper to just keep ourselves abreast of what is going on around us. My name is Modupe, Akinyosoye, and as always, I have some newspapers with me this morning, which we will be looking through. I have the Punch newspaper, I have the Vanguard newspaper, I have Daily Trust newspaper, and I have the Nation newspaper this morning. All right, without further ado, let us start with the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's see what we have at the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. You get to see this morning, right on the front page of Daily Trust, why Nigeria lost 2025 AFCON bid to Morocco. You have that very sport update right on the front page with triple riders, and you get the details of that on page 4 in the Daily Trust newspaper. And also from the front page, Wike sacks heads of 21 FCT agencies. The details of that also on page 4 in the Daily Trust newspaper. 271.9 billion naira goods unsold in first half of 2023. Man reporting that on page 19 in the Daily Trust newspaper. And also from the front page on diphtheria and health report, UNICEF sends 9.3 million vaccine doses to Kano and 6 other states. You have that on page 5 in the Daily Trust newspaper. Also from the front page, Mulud, governors can Abbas preach unity and peaceful coexistence. Page 4 captures as well that report. And of course, you get to see the celebration parade, Eid al-Mulud, right on the front page of the Daily Trust. And also, we have this headline: Access Bank invests over 200 billion naira in agribusiness. That's also captured on page 19 in the Daily Trust newspaper. Vehicle import at Tinkan drops from 32,000 to 4,000 in 5 years. Page 20 has that very story. No regret leaving banking for greenhouse farming. Young entrepreneur revealing his or experience right in the Daily Trust. Page 22 captures that very story. All right, quickly going through the stories we have in the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's start with this very headline, the sports. Let's start from the sports page of the Daily Trust. And this says, why Nigeria lost 2025 AFCON bid to Morocco. Let's get to see why. Nigeria's joint bid with the Republic of Benin has failed to sail through as the Confederation of African Football, CAF, announced Morocco as the host for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, while Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania have been named joint hosts of the 2027 tournament. The winners were announced yesterday after the voting session by members of the Confederation of African Football (CAF) committee, led by its president, Patrice Modupe, at Marriott Hotel in the Zamalek area of downtown Cairo. And Morocco won by 22 votes, with their challengers, including Algeria, who reportedly withdrew from the race a few months ago, getting no vote. And however, it was on Tuesday evening that the president of the Algerian Football Federation officially announced this country's withdrawal from the race, with CAF rejected. The rest of that's a very sports story in the Daily Trust newspaper. Why Nigeria lost to 2025 AFCON bid to Morocco. You get the details of why in the Daily Trust newspaper. As well, from the Daily Trust, let's come back to the Gateway State. Adebutu versus Abiodun Ogun Tribunal delivers judgment Saturday. The Ogun State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, sitting in Abeokuta, will on Saturday deliver judgment to the petition filed by the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Ladi Adebutu, against Governor Dapo Abiodun. The tribunal had on September 4 reserved its judgment after parties adopted their final addresses. The Hamidu Kunaza-led tribunal told parties that the judgment is reserved until a date to be communicated to parties. Adebutu versus Abiodun Ogun Tribunal delivers judgment on Saturday. That also in the Daily Trust newspaper. And also we have this update. 280 journalists in West Africa to receive training in digital verification and fact-checking. Google News Initiative, GNI, and Dubawa, a verification and fact-checking arm in the Center for Journalism Innovation and Development, CJID, are set to train journalists on digital verification and fact-checking in an effort to foster higher standards of journalism, combat fake news and disinformation in West Africa. And this was stated in a press statement made available to Daily Trust by Dubawa. You get the details of that, so whom it may concern, you're a journalist and you, of course, want to key into this. You have the details in the Daily Trust newspaper. 280 journalists in West Africa to receive training in digital verification and fact-checking. And also from the Daily Trust, the Northeast political traditional leaders urge to work for democracy dividends. The Northeast Development Association, NEDA, has called on political and traditional leaders from the zone to close ranks and work for the socio-economic development of the area. Addressing a press conference after the 37th General Meeting of the Association on Tuesday in Abuja, Comrade Bitako Abubakar Umar, NEDA's Secretary General, said the call has become imperative to deliver democracy dividends for the people of the zone. The Northeast political and traditional leaders urged to work for democracy dividend. And let's quickly take a trip outside Nigeria with the Daily Trust. Coup attempt in Burkina Faso. The junta in Burkina Faso, which toppled a military regime to gain power, has announced that there was a coup attempt. In a statement, the junta said an attempt by some army officers to seize power and plunge the country into chaos was thwarted. And also the military government said it would seek to shed all possible light on this plot, adding that it regretted that officers whose oath is to defend their own land have strayed into an undertaking of this nature. You get the rest of that in the Daily Trust newspaper from Burkina Faso. Coup attempt in Burkina Faso. And quickly going to the Punch newspaper, let's see what we have in the Punch newspaper. All right, from the front page of the Punch newspaper. Labour fought federal government's meeting, insists on indefinite strike with double riders, and page 2 captures the details of that story. And also from the front page on debt crisis, stop tax waivers, IMF tells Nigeria. Page 20 has the details. Efrexim Bank seeks buyers for NNPCL's crude. Page 24 has the very story. Chicago academic record, Atiku plans fresh suit against Tinubu. You have that on page 2 in the Punch newspaper. And also from the front page, Afenifere accuses Obasanjo of ridiculing Obas and demands apology. That on page 12 as well in the Punch newspaper. Ondo woman kills husband with pestle. and flees. Page 4 has that metro story, an unfortunate incident. Pipeline repairs gulp 35 billion naira in 18 months. Vandalism persists. Report revealing that on page 19 in the Punch newspaper. And also, this is also resurfacing on the front page of the Punch that says, "Can the Christian Association of Nigeria governors preach peace, hope at Eid-el-Maulud?" You have that right in the Punch newspaper. And of course, you get to see that on page 28 in the Punch newspaper, and get to see the picture of the celebration of Eid-el-Maulud right on the front page. Quickly, let's go through what we have in the Punch newspaper. We'll start with Labour story that says, Labour fought federal government meeting insists on indefinite strike. The National Deputy President of the Trade Union Congress, Tomi Etim, said nothing would stop the strike, noting that Nigerian workers were disenchanted with the federal government. He stated that the unions had given the government sufficient time to address their demands, stressing that the workers would not allow themselves to be deceived any longer. Etim told the Punch on Wednesday that any fresh meeting was pointless and asked the Nigerians to brace up for the long-drawn walkout. From the Punch, Labour fought federal government meeting insists on indefinite strike. Away from that, let's see a story right here from the Metro page. Varsity graduates attempt suicide over withheld result. A graduate of Ambrose Ali University, Epoma, Edo State, identified as Precious Ogbede, has attempted suicide over the alleged university's refusal to issue him and several other students their result after they graduated from school in 2018. A correspondent of the Punch learned that Ogbede, whose parents claimed he had been battling depression due to his inability to be issued his result after spending 5 years in the school, started to stab himself with pieces of bottle he had broken. That Metro story from the Metro page of the Punch with the headline, Varsity graduates attempt suicide over withheld result. And also picking this very story, on World Rabies Day, NVMA advocates responsible pet ownership. The Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association has urged pet owners to keep their pets within their premises and ensure they are fully vaccinated against rabies. The national president of the association, Dr. Oluwatoyin Adetuberu, made the call in an interview with News Agency of Nigeria on Thursday in Abuja in commemoration of World Rabies Day. To whom it may concern, of course, to those that have pets. You get the details of this very story in the Punch newspaper. On World Rabies Day, NVMA advocates responsible pet ownership. Away from that, let's also see another report from the Punch newspaper. The business page of the Punch has this update. Food prices jump by 31%, says NBS. Ebonyi and Abia State led as food prices jumped by 31% within 12 months from July 2022 to July 2023. This is according to an analysis of the Selected Food Price Watch, a report published on a monthly basis by the National Bureau of Statistics. The selected food items include staples such as rice 1 kg, beans of 1 kg, bread of 500 gram, tomatoes, beef, wheat of 2 kg, gari of 1 kg, and palm oil of 1 bottle. You get the rest of that. And according to reports, the highest food price increase was recorded in the price of yam, which jumped by 42% from 389 naira 75 kobo in July 2022 to 539 naira 41 kobo in 2023. The details of the analysis right in the Punch newspaper with the headline, Food prices jump by 31%, says NBS. And also from the Punch newspaper, the business page, marketers urge federal government to address rising gas prices. The Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers has called on the federal government to find ways to ensure stability of gas prices and make it available to common Nigerians. The NALGAM National President Abidin Olatubosun made this call during the 36th Annual General Meeting and Conference of the Association with the theme Expanding Gas Utilization Beyond Imagination in Ibadan, Oyo State on Tuesday. He explained that if nothing was done to increase in price, gas would soon be a commodity for the new rich, or few rich rather. Marketers urge federal government to address rising gas prices. The Punch newspaper has the story, and of course, going by the amount of money they purchase 1 kg now, I think it's almost 1,000 naira. 1,000 naira to get 1 kg. May God help us in Nigeria. Away from that, let's move to the entertainment segment of the Punch newspaper. On Mohbad's death, I'm ready to return if my safety is guaranteed, says Naira Marley. Nigerian singer Aziz Fashola, also known as Naira Marley, has said he is ready to return to Nigeria to clear his name over his alleged involvement in the death of his former label signee, Mohbad. Naira Marley made the disclosure on Wednesday during an interview session with social media influencer Reno Mokri. And since the death of Mohbad, there has been social media outrage after several videos surfaced of the late singer accusing Naira Marley of masterminding his gang beating. The rest of that in the belly of the Punch newspaper on Mohbad. I'm ready to return if my safety is guaranteed, says Naira Marley. And also picking a sports story from the Punch on Napoli role, Piers Morgan wants Osimhen at Arsenal. English TV personality Piers Morgan has urged Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen to join Premier League side Arsenal following his sour relationship with Italian Serie A champions Napoli. The Napoli striker is currently at loggerheads with the Italian outfit following a video posted on the club's TikTok account mocking him for his penalty miss against Bologna on Sunday. The rest of that very story you get in the Punch newspaper, the sports page. Napoli role, Piers Morgan wants Osimhen at Arsenal. All right, before we continue more headlines, let's quickly dash into a commercial room to pay some bills. We'll be back on Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Stay with us.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Central Mall, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour.
Gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó bágbàmú ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zion. House of Zion, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House of Zion, lẹ́tí máa rójúlówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai, àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi, àwọn ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ bàtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fawọ́ original ṣe, àwọn aago kájọ́ tó ń ka wákàtí ọjọ́, designer sunglasses and perfumes, pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbafẹ́ lò gbà. Mo débẹ̀ ojú mi ń ṣe kámi, èmi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ́ gbòógè gbọ́n pa fashion tẹ́ wá nílò jàlábíà, hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zion lẹ́ò ti rí gbogbo ẹ̀ rà. House of Zion wà ní 52 Ọlọ́run ṣògo road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish Ọlọ́run ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. Lórí Instagram House of Zion 08165688618. House of Zion, ilé ìtajà tá a ti ń tojúlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì.
You're still on to Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Thank you so much for joining us. So once again, we'll pick up the Nation newspaper to continue our review this morning of Freshlight. Let's see what we have on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And from the front page of the Nation, you get to see INEC Insecurity threatens November 11 governorship polls. You have that right on page 4 in the Nation newspaper. Away from that, next Edo governor must respect monarchy. Page 4 also captures the details of that story. Another headline here says 48 hours rain to pound SCT Edo Kwara and 22 state NIMET alerts reporting that. Page 5 captures the details. 2 women arrested with 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Page 4 has the details of that. Shagamu court killings. DSS moves to unravel masterminds. You also have that on page 29 in the Nation newspaper. And also from the front page of the Nation, Obasanjo should apologize to monarchs, says Afenifere with a rider. Group 6 support for Tinubu. Page 4 has that very story. Stock market transactions soar to 2.42 trillion naira. You have that as well from the business page. Page 5 captures that story. And Trump inflated assets value. Page 30 has that story. French envoy exits Niger. Page 30 captures that foreign story. And also governors, Khan, president and others celebrate Maulud. Nabi, page 28 captures that very story. And also you get to see Yaba, Ikeja along bridges open for traffic next month. Page 27 captures that, and of course you get to see the picture of the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, right, speaking during an inspection tour of the Red Line Rail projects, right on the front page of the Nation. Let's quickly go through the Nation newspaper to see. Let's start with the story from the Nation newspaper. Obasanjo should apologize to monarchs, says Afenifere. The dust stirred by former President Olusegun Obasanjo's outburst against some monarchs in Oyo State has not settled. And yesterday, Afenifere Pan-Yoruba socio-political organization said the former president should apologize to Okeogun traditional rulers for subjecting them to ridicule in his saying 2 weeks ago. Obasanjo should apologize to monarchs, says Afenifere. The Nation captures that story. Quickly going to the business page of the Nation. Stock market transactions soar to 2.42 trillion naira. Total transactions at the Nigerian equities market have risen to 2.42 trillion naira on the back of intensive bargain hunting for Nigerian equities. A report by the Nigerian Exchange obtained yesterday indicated that the equities market witnessed additional transaction worth 530 billion naira to hit 2.42 trillion naira in the first 8 months of this year. Stock market transactions soared to 2.42 trillion naira, the update in the Nation newspaper. And also, INEC is reporting a very story that says insecurity threatens November 11 governorship polls. There is security threat to the November 11 governorship elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa State. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, said yesterday. It added that there is need for the government to bring down the level of insecurity to guarantee free and credible elections. INEC, insecurity threatens November 11 governorship polls. The Nation captures that story. And let's speak of the Vanguard newspaper before we call it today this morning, a fresh light. From the front page of the Vanguard, on strike. Our labor veterans got NLC and TUC to close ranks. You have that on page 14. You get how, right on page 14 in the Vanguard with a couple of riders newspaper. And also from the front page of the Vanguard, banks customers pay 154 billion naira fee for e-banking service. That on page 19 in the Vanguard newspaper. NNPC $3 billion loan. Afrexim Bank opens funding talks with oil traders. You have it on page 5 in the Vanguard. Biden appoints Osage, Imasoge, Chineye, Ogwumike as advisors. You have that on page 25 in the Vanguard newspaper. Ida Malud, Apabio, Abbas, Obi, Governor Khan, and others call for prayer and peaceful coexistence. Page 26 captures that story on insecurity stopping us from opening tourist sites in Niger government revealing that on page 8 in the Vanguard newspaper. And also from the front page, gas and flaring sacks over 27 communities in Imo, page 13 as the story. Kwakwanso, a serial contestant, says Ganduje, revealing that on page 4 in the Vanguard newspaper. VCs presents reports of challenges facing varsities to education minister. That education story on page 9 in the Vanguard newspaper. And also from the Vanguard, we have on diphtheria, we will need additional $3.3 million for widespread vaccination in Nigeria. UNICEF reported that on page 9 in the Vanguard. Live well, be happy. Death calls on us daily. Reflections on human flourishing in Nigeria. That column written by Professor Laguda right on page 15 in the Vanguard newspaper. 3 killed, 9 injured as gunmen and kidnappers storm Kwara State. That metro story on page 8 in the Vanguard newspaper. And you get to see the picture of the Eid al-Maulud celebrations in Suleja. Muslim faithful celebrating the Eid al-Maulud in Suleja, Niger State. Yesterday, you get that on the front page, the picture of the Vanguard newspaper. Quickly going through the Vanguard newspaper. Let's start with a report right here from the Vanguard. 63rd Independence Anniversary. Federal government declares Monday, October 2, public holiday. The federal government has declared Monday, 2nd of October 2023 as a public holiday in commemoration of Nigeria's 63rd Independence Anniversary. A permanent secretary in the Ministry of Interior, Dr. Oluwatoyin Akinlade, made this in a statement on Thursday, said the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, made a declaration in Abuja on behalf of the federal government. 63rd Independence Anniversary, federal government declares Monday, October 2, public holiday. And of course, we're wishing the country a happy Independence Day celebration on October 1, 2023. Away from that, we have from the business page, CBN will regain its trust, integrity under my watch, says Cardoso. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Yemi Cardoso, has assured Nigerians that the Apex Bank will regain its trust and integrity. Cardoso said the CBN will regain all this with the support of its deputies and other relevant financial and economic giants in the institution. CBN will regain its trust and integrity under my watch, says Cardoso from the Vanguard newspaper. On diphtheria, the health pages of the Vanguard, 2.2 million Nigerian children yet to receive dose of vaccine. UNICEF raises alarm. The representative, United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF in Nigeria, Dr. Ronak Khan, has raised an alarm that a staggering 2.2 million children in Nigeria are yet to receive a single dose of the diphtheria vaccine. A statement by the communication assistant of UNICEF in Nigeria, Nchekube Nwosu Igbo, said the outbreak has so far resulted in over 11,500 suspected cases, more than 7,000 confirmed cases, and claimed the lives of 453 people, mostly children. From the Vanguard on diphtheria, 2.2 million Nigerian children yet to receive dose of vaccine. UNICEF raises alarm. And let's move to outside the country. Let's take a trip to Iraq with the Vanguard newspaper. 50 poisoned at a wedding in Iraq. No fewer than 50 people were poisoned at a wedding in Iraq's northern province of Kirkuk due to spoiled food, local media reported. According to the report, the incident occurred in the town of Hawija, west of Kirkuk, the capital city of the cognominal province. The provincial health chief Ziyad Khalaf said some of the cases were mild, while some were serious. 50 poisoned at a wedding in Iraq. The Vanguard newspaper captured that story. And also on strike, give dialogue chance. Representatives, deputy spokesman begs NLC and TUC. With the rider says Nigeria will celebrate Tinubu for subsidy removal. The deputy spokesman of the House of Representatives, Philip Agbeshe, has assured Nigerians that the removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu is in the best interest of the country and will soon be celebrated. The member representing Ado Okpogu Ogbadibo Federal Constituency spoke to newsmen in Abuja. Give dialogue chance. Representative Deputy Spokesman begs NLC and TUC. The Vanguard captures that story. And of course, from the sports pages of the Vanguard newspaper, let's get to see this very story. Okay, let's take a report from Napoli. Napoli didn't intend to hurt Osimhen. Coach Garcia reporting that Napoli manager Rudy Garcia has said that the club didn't intend to hurt Victor Osimhen with a controversial TikTok video. Recall the Partonope shared a video on their TikTok account which appeared to be mocking Osimhen after he missed a penalty in the club's goalless draw against Bologna last weekend. The 24-year-old threatened to take legal action against the club and has also taken down all images of him in the Partonope jersey on his Instagram account. Napoli didn't intend to hurt Osimhen, Coach Garcia, revealing that from the sport pages of the Vanguard newspaper. I'm also taking this from Napoli as well. Osimhen shames critics, scores for Napoli against Udinese. Napoli striker Victor Osimhen scored the second goal in the Serie A encounter against Udinese on Wednesday evening, despite the ongoing saga and sour relationship with the club in the past few days. The Nigerian ended his 4-game wait for a goal but refused to celebrate the goal after he added to Napoli's lead. What a moment in Napoli, that's Osimhen. All right, from the Vanguard, you get to see with the headline, Osimhen shames critics, scores for Napoli against Udinese. And from that story, we bow on Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Do not forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. On Facebook at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. On the X platform at Iyamoye_TV and on Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio, and of course turn on your alarm button to get notification of our programs. Don't forget, we can advertise your product, any of your product or service for you right on Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. So bring your product and service to us. We'll do justice for you. My name remains Modupe Akinyosoye. Good morning.